this is Bill with Backstage360.com back at the NAMM show. And with us today is master guitar builder Gene Baker. How you doing, Gene?
Doing great.
So, yeah, it's kind of busy out there today, isn't it?
Sure is. I hear you. Good traffic.
Yeah, we had to try to track you down just a little bit because there's so much traffic.
I'm here somewhere.
So what brings you to NAMM this year, Gene?
This year, this model brings me out here, which is the return of the Mean Gene, which Mean Gene was my first company back when I was like 18 years old. And this model just seemed to fit it because I'm kind of going after a lot more aggressive audience this time around with the headless models. So this one is called, it's part of the Ringmaster series, which is 4 different tiers of models, but this is known as the Sahara, which is where the model starts. It's the most affordable model. This is going to retail right around $2,400. And what's kind of cool about it is this new bridge that they have called the Sophia. And these guys targeted something that was already in my head, so when I found them, it was like, this is meant to be. And what they did is they created the tremolo that will retrofit on a Wilkinson post mount or a Floyd Rose post mount, and one other one which I think is the Fender American Standard. But it's just a extremely refined Floyd Rose that makes a Floyd Rose look antique. And it comes with a 20-inch radius. You can get drop D tuners on them. I can do 6-string, 7-string, 8-string, fan fret. So these guys really targeted a lot of different things in this bridge. And also comes stock with the new retroactive VMGs. It's 25.5-inch scale length. And it's about the size of a 3/4 kid's Strat, but it's still a full-scale guitar. So it's meant for traveling, or sitting in a chair, recording at your desktop. And that's the whole thing about the Ergo package, where you can put this guitar in your lap about 4 different positions, which are all real comfortable. And so just kind of like a modern Strat in the way I look at it.
So what was the inspiration behind the design? Was it more ergonomic or was it tone driven?
It all started when I first found out about animals as leaders. And then when I started doing some research on them, I found out about Strandberg guitars. And so I was chatting with Ola Strandberg a bit about different design things. And so that whole category of guitars just really hit me in the right spot. So I started with an 8-string and then started working my way backwards. So now there's the 8, and then we came out with the 6, and now we even have a 7-string of the same model. And the 7-string only costs $100 more, so it's $2,500 for a 7-string. But yeah, it seems like more of a where the guitars are going nowadays, or at least a whole new market to go after. And it just really inspired me. And that's about it.
Is there a particular genre that this is built around, or is this more an all-purpose fit into any category with little modification?
If I was going after animals as leaders, I'd go after the degent crowd. But I think there's a lot of guys, even back to the original Steinbergers or the Klein guitars, where there's a whole old school group out there that wants to see this happen. So even this model is going to come out, kind of like a vintage Strat, where I can do an ash body 2-tone burst, 3 single coils, and kind of like tame down the visual, but it's still the same guitar. So this model can fit a lot of different people. And a lot of the headless guys are going for all these fan frets, which I can do as well, but I figured I might as well start with the straight frets because I think there's a bigger market of people that have, that's what they've been playing all their life. So I figured that'd be a great place to start for this model.
Are you working on anything else for the future, or is this the line that you're going to work with for a while?
I'm still doing my Legacy series, which includes like my SL, which is very much targeting the Les Paul, and Ronnie Montrose is the Beast model. So that's basically my SL. Yeah, there you go. And then also I got my Phoenix model, which is targeting, the marriage of a Tele meets a Firebird. So I'm still keeping my fingers in everything and just kind of expanding to the more audiences.
So where can people find you and take a look at these and the other models that you're putting out?
This one right now is getting ready to come out as a Japan model, and so for the most part, this has been going to Japan more than anything so far. So, but there are a couple dealers in the States that are getting hip to it. But for right now, it's going to be a little hard to find them, probably till about middle of the year.
Well, where can they find you?
At b3guitars.com or on Facebook.
Good plug there, buddy. Well, Thanks for talking with us, Gene. I really appreciate you taking the time and actually finding the sound booth so we could actually have a conversation amongst all the noise out here.
Amazing. Wish I had an amplifier in here. I could tear your head off, but
All right. Well, this is Bill at Backstage 360. We'll see you out on the floor. This is Bill at Backstage 360, and we're back at the NAMM show. We're actually in the Marriott with John Mulvey of...
Or the Hilton.
Or the Hilton.
Or the Hilton.
Cut in Hilton. Okay. Well, whatever hotel we're in one of them at the convention center.
Absolutely.
John Mulvey, 3G Guitars. We're here to talk to him today about his new creation, as you see here. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you got there, John?
Well, I'm pretty excited about it. It's a guitar, as we can see. But the cool thing about it is that quite a while ago, I had an idea, and I wanted to actually be able to play my guitar from one end of the neck to the other without changing my technique. And so for years and years, I pursued that with neck-through designs, but I found that they are somewhat inferior to bolt-on guitars as far as tone, and that's subjective, but that's my opinion. And so I patented this neck joint right here, and basically by creating an extended tenon, I'm actually taking this neck and moving it much further than traditional guitars. It actually goes underneath the pickup. This is in a trough in the neck, and it actually extends all the way to the treble pickup. And then part of the patent and design is that it comes up and touches the tone guard, essentially. This is what is known as a pick guard, but we went ahead and trademarked tone guard because now it's generating tone from the neck touching the actual tone guard. And another thing that's unique is this round neck pocket. And the reason why it's significant in the tone is that normal block neck pockets are square and the sides are slots, and those slots are not tension bearing. So what you have when you have a radius neck is you have 180 degrees of tension from one side to the other, producing more sustain, more tone. And we knew that going in that it would probably do that, but we are pleasantly surprised that it's actually given us that warm mid-range that all guitarists talk about when they discuss warm tone. That warmth, whatever that means, is in that lower mid-range, and the guitar is actually producing far more of those frequencies than I anticipated. So it's really been exciting. We're getting tons of attention. We have partners in Seymour Duncan. They're helping us develop a pickup line for the guitar, and they're really excited about it. We are partnering with Adam Reaver. He was one of our original partners at Futone Bridges. He makes these exclusive Floyd Rose upgrades that everybody uses that knows, and they're amazing. And one of the things that I needed out of the guitar, as you know, Bill, I've spent my entire career supporting my heroes, opening up for my heroes. And one thing I realized was I only have 20 to 50 minutes if I'm lucky for my set. So taking multiple guitars on stage was not something that could be considered, because if I'm changing guitars, even 5 seconds, 15 seconds, I'm losing a song by doing so. So my goal, the reason why I named the guitar the Performer, 3G Performer, is because I needed a guitar that would be my one-stop instrument that could do everything on stage. So what I have here is not just a floating trem. In the back, our other partner, Tremolo, actually locks the tremolo and now makes it a hardtail.
Keeps it in place.
It does. And so now I've got a hardtail that when I go in the studio and do rhythm tracks, I wouldn't use a floating tremolo because what happens is the effect is spongy. Your rhythm tracks aren't tight. So now I've got a hardtail for my rhythm tracks or on stage if I need to do country bends and things like that. And then the Futone Bridge has the EVH D-tuner equipped. So now I can go drop D. Drop D right away, right on the same guitar. And then all of a sudden, I am now back to floating. How long did that take? Maybe 1.5 seconds. So now I've got a guitar. I can go on stage, do everything that I would need as far as the physics of the instrument. And then we took it one step further. We used super switches and push-pull pots. And the one thing that I learned from Joe Satriani is that he put a high-pass filter right here. And by doing so, it eliminates all the low-end rumble when you're playing melodies. That is usually things you have to be careful of. By having a high-pass filter, I don't have to worry about that when I'm playing solos and melodies. And then here, we have a push-pull that actually taps that pole right there. And by doing so, I'll go through it for you. In the farthest first position, we've got humbucker. When I move it over, let's put that down. Humbucker, when I move it over, I've got single coil here. When I go to the middle, I've got these two poles, right? So that's sort of a strat tone.
Yeah, it gives you that strat twang.
It does. It gives you that little out of phase. And now by pulling this up, I now have these two poles, right? So now that's the strat thing with a little more out of phase, but a little more low end. When I go here, I now have this, single coil. And so by pulling this up, I now have these two. And so by going here, I have full humbucker. By pulling this up, I have full humbucker and this one. So the variety of tones is amazing. I can do everything from full shred to country, anything you would need. Any of the tones that you would need from this instrument or from any instrument you can get from this instrument.
So how long have you been working on this design?
Well, there's cave paintings in France with me talking to the designers. So, I mean, it's been a while. But seriously, it's been over 35 years. When I was hanging out with Joe Satriani, I actually, back in the mid-'80s, I was pursuing this design with Jackson soloists. But like I said, they were a neck-through design, and I just found that I am a Strat player, pretty much. And so I needed that bolt-on guitar. And the thing is at this year's NAMM show, there is no bolt-on guitar on the floor anywhere in the world with this neck profile. That's what's getting people excited, is that you have neck-through access with bolt-on tone.
Nice. Would you like to throw a few notes in there and kind of give us a demo?
I would, yeah.
Okay, hit it.
You know what? I can't do that here. I can't.
Where can people find you on social media, the internet?
It's easy. It's 3gguitars.rocks. That's the website. 3G Guitars on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Facebook.
Sounds great. Well, it was so good to see you again after all these years.
Man, what a champion.
Absolutely. And thanks for having us. And
Thank you for being here.
we'll see you soon. This is Bill at Backstage360.com with John Mulvey. We'll see you on the floor.
Take care.
Hello, this is Bill with Backstage 360, NAMM 2018, first day, and we're here talking with Justin Emord. Justin, what brings you to NAMM?
Well, my band 11 to 38, we are playing tomorrow on the Outdoor Arena Plaza stage, so we're here doing the band thing, and I'm here representing Fender this year as well as one of my new endorsement companies.
Congratulations. And what type of bass are you playing at this time?
My two main ones, I have a Fender Aerodyne Jazz bass, which is kind of like a hybrid between a jazz and a P bass. And then I also have a standard Ghost Silver Jaguar bass that I just got last week for the show today, tomorrow.
How's the tone on those? You liking it?
I love it. They're both very different from each other, so it gives me a lot of tonal options to play with when, figuring out what's going to work for what song or what style of music So especially when we're trying to construct a set or even work on songs, it gives me a lot of different things to play with to get the right tone for the right song.
And what type of strings are you using on these now?
I use Diodario NYXL 50 to 105s.
Excellent, excellent. Well, it's a pleasure to see you here, and it's been a long time for both of us, and I hope to see you on the floor again and see the show.
Absolutely, I'll be here all weekend.
Great to see you, Justin.
Great to see you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is Bill at Backstage 360. We'll see you on the floor.